So Jamison, how have things been over the 5-6 days you've been here at this stage? Does it feel like you're starting a new chapter, or is it very much continuing on from what happened in the World Cup?
I think very much continuing on from what we've kind of built over the last number of years, not just the World Cup. It's been what went on before that. So there's obviously been a few harsher lessons throughout the World Cup period, but it's been great to be back in camp. Everyone's in good form. It's obviously great to be back here, such a class facility in Portugal. So, things are building nicely.
You said there were harsh lessons from the World Cup. What kind of specifics can you give us around what those lessons were, aside from the obvious?
I don't know. It's a tough one, man. It was a tough period after that, and we've obviously got plenty of things that we've taken from the game. We've looked back over a lot of that footage, and every time one of those clips comes up, it's pretty hard to watch. But there are many lessons, like I say, to be learned. So hopefully we'll see a bit of it out there on Friday night.
Speaking of Friday, France first up. I mean, that's a perfect game to sharpen the minds, to make sure there's no hangover post World Cup.
Exactly, man. I mean, they were the same. I suppose they experienced World Cup heartbreak as well, so they'll be keen to get stuck back into things. Massive home game for them in Marseille. Bit of a change up from Paris, so I'm sure they'll be fired up, and but we're looking forward to it for sure.
And then just the big squad change obviously is that Johnny Sexton's no longer around. As scrum-half, how have you found working with the likes of Jack, Harry and Kieran Frawley over the last few days? Have they found their voice more than they would have had last year? Are they wary of the fact obviously that Johnny's no longer around and maybe they need to take on more responsibility around the team? Maybe
a little bit, but I think they're all great leaders in their own right. So I would have worked a lot with Kieran and Harry over the years, obviously, and a bit with Jack over the last number of months. So but like I say, great leaders in their own right, and they can all march a team around the pitch. So been great working with them.
Jamison, it's obviously two ways you look at what happened at the World Cup, that it could have knocked off the huge momentum that you had as a team, or they come into this Six Nations with a huge point to prove and a real determination to right the wrongs of that. So just talk to us about that and taking the right lessons out of that.
Yeah, I think the latter. Like I said there earlier, it's been a massive journey for the squad. A lot of these guys have been in and around this team for a good number of years now, not just the World Cup, but stuff we went through before. We've been down to New Zealand and done pretty well there. So there's been good lessons and bad lessons, but I think it's important that we get things right and start a new campaign, because it's kind of what it feels like, I suppose, in a way. Looking forward to it for sure.
What is the motivation for this squad? Last year maybe there was a sense, okay, Six Nations was always at the World Cup in the back burner. What is the motivation now?
Obviously, I think to win the Six Nations would be the ultimate. It's obviously unbelievably tough, and it's the perfect start for us really to see where we're at with facing France in their backyard. So but there's no shortage of motivation surely throughout this team.
And just in general, will there be changes? Do there need to be changes with this Irish team? Whether it's lessons from the World Cup, or even some of the things that maybe you're doing at Leinster with Jack and Nina, or do you expect any of that to feed into what we're going to see from this Irish team in the months and years ahead?
Maybe a little bit, kind of be drip fed in, but I suppose we don't have a lot of time in camp before our first fixture, so it can be tough to change things around. But there'll certainly little bits that we can take from the World Cup, and like you say, all lads working on different things in their provinces. So hopefully we'll see a bit of it out there on Friday night.
Last one for you then, just touched on it earlier, but it is Marseille. It's a different venue. Everything from the French side seems to be, this is going to be wrapped up again in terms of hostility and atmosphere, and what a way to start the competition with you, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah, man. You got to love it, eh? It's going to be an unbelievably tough place to go. Obviously, like you say, they're talking it up, and it's a bit of a change up from what everyone's used to in Paris. So, no doubt it's going to be a great challenge and one we look forward to.
Gibson, what are the key differences between Johnny and Jack, and how have you adapted to them, and how has the team adapted to them?
Tough to put a finger on key differences, I suppose. They're both great 10s and great leaders. And obviously not just Jack, we have other 10s in camp as well that are stepping up and leaving their mark. So but like I say, tough to put your finger on real big differences. Obviously, Johnny was such a huge influence over this team for how many years, and I'm sure Jack will be looking to make his own mark as well. So hopefully you'll see it all over the next few weeks.
Have you had a chance to watch the Netflix documentary, and why the team watched it, and what you made of it, and what's your opinion of it?
Yeah, no, awesome. I think we were all buzzed out for Ports, I suppose, as the episode was pretty awesome, and we all really enjoyed that. So hopefully we get to see another season.
Seeing his side being portrayed out there, would it make you or other teammates maybe want to get involved in the next series?
I don't know if it's my style, but I'm sure a few of the other lads will be into it for sure.
Robbie, how are things?
Yeah.
What has the message been since you got here last week? I understand it was the big review, kind of looking back at the New Zealand game before you came out here. What has the big message been since then?
Yeah, I mean, we're always looking to build, always looking to learn from past experiences, positive and negative. But listen, there's loads to go for the group, and there's loads of improvement needed, and I think we've all recognised that, players and staff, that we can definitely keep driving it on and keep getting better as a group.
With a game like France away first up, like it doesn't necessarily give you the opportunity to build your way into the tournament. Just how kind of close to your best do you have to be from week one? Yeah,
100%. I think it's one of the toughest games, playing France away. Definitely down in Marseille as well is going to be a new challenge for everyone. A handful of us played there before. It's an intense environment, and I suppose France, the force that they're going to bring out, we need to be at our best to deal with that environment and that team. So last week has been a good prep, and leading into a shorter week this week, but it's really positive from our end, and we're really excited to get getting going.
Coming in after a World Cup campaign, is there ever a bit of an unknown quantity about teams where you're not really sure maybe what tweaks they're making post World Cup, and you probably don't have that body of evidence to go off?
Yeah, I suppose you look back at what they produced in the World Cup, and you even look back to the games they played in the Six Nations last year. So do a bit of review on that, and then also having a good eye on what the French clubs are producing. So looking at any trends, things like that in the club game, because a lot of the French players play club rugby there. So it is. They might bring something different. I suppose every team might change their plan a little bit. So we need to be adaptable, and we need to be ready for if they do throw something different that we haven't seen, and we need to be ready.
Well, one thing that will definitely be different is the Velodrome rather than the Stade de France. How much are you looking forward to just that? Like, it's a very novel experience for Six Nations where it's a stadium. I know you played there in Leinster, but that's a very, very different type of crowd to what you're going to have on Friday night.
Yeah, it's an incredible stadium. I saw there was a few World Cup games there that were held there, and as opposed to playing in Stade de France, it's a very it's a tight stadium in terms of it's obviously a football pitch, and the crowd is right there in your face. So it's a tight stadium, and it's quite, it can be intimidating at times when the crowd are up. We got to experience that playing for Leinster a couple of seasons ago, and it was different.
And just finally for me then, as ever with the centre, there's heats of competition to get in between yourself, Bundy, Stuart McCluskey and Gary as well. How do you have to kind of set your expectations going into a week like that when you know there's so many top quality centres and there's only really 2 spots to go around? To include a bench place maybe. Yeah,
it's great to have competition. I suppose that's what drives you on as a player, is to keep trying and get the best out of yourself and out of the team. For us, for me individually, it's doing my best on the training pitch, and being confident that what I've done over the last few months in club rugby with Leinster has been good to hopefully put my hand up. So feeling good, feeling confident, and as I said, all the lads in the centre jersey are all competing, so that definitely drives our performance.
You often play on the wing?
No, the last time I played in the wing, I'd say it was under 10s. So not as such. Just 12 or 13 for the moment.
any preview, Robbie, of this tournament will say, we'll ask the question, how will Ireland cope with life after Johnny Sexton? How would you reply to that question?
I think it's obviously going to be tough to replace Johnny, but I think we've picked Pete as captain. He's led the group unbelievably well, not only just now but over the last 5 or 6 seasons. He's been an incredible leader in this team. So I think we have a great leader there in our captain, and he's driving it on from his end. And I think there's an onus on a lot of players to, I suppose, step up and to be vocal and lead by example. And it's a great challenge for this group. Coming into fresh Six Nations and to build that leadership. Playing
terms, the number 10 rule indications being that it's Jack who started anyway. Are you confident that if it is him, he can handle the job?
Yeah, Jack's been playing brilliant for Munster. He's been running things very well down there. He's had a bit of experience over the last season as well in the World Cup, and in the pre World Cup warm-ups he played very well against Italy and against Samoa. So he definitely has good experience, and I think he's going to be brilliant in terms of he's trained really well. He's really confident, and he's stepping up.
It's a personality position though as well, isn't it? Do you think Jack has the right personality for that role?
He does. He's grown. He's still very young, and like we're all learning in this environment. You're always learn new things every season, every game you play. So we're always developing as players, and Jack and the other 10s will continue to develop with that experience, and his I suppose, as I said, his confidence has been really good, and he's been running things really well in training.
Just last one from me then. You had massive belief in the World Cup going into that quarter final. Is there any fear that belief would have been damaged by what happened that night and going into the Six Nations now?
From my end, I don't think so. It's really exciting. I think you don't get a better fixture to travel away and play France away. It's one of the best games to be involved in. So, that excites this whole group, and I think the belief that we have is sky high here, and I think we trust in our game plan, trust in our players, and trust in the team as well. It's we're just looking really forward to it. I think our travelling support, we definitely need that going this weekend, and what we had over the World Cup I've never seen before. So fingers crossed we'll have something similar to that in Marseille on Friday night.
Can it be a motivation after the World Cup?
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of guys are hungry to, as I said, to drive it on and go again. And a lot of players have played a lot of rugby since that New Zealand game. Guys are feeling confident, guys are fit. So yeah, we're definitely eager to get out there and drive on again.
Robbie, how helpful is this environment to help set you up for the Six Nations tournament?
It's been brilliant. I think for us to be lucky enough to get out here and train in Portugal, we're so lucky to be here and to train in such good conditions and such a great environment and great setup. So we're lucky to be here, and it's a good, I suppose, feel good camp going into a tough game on Friday night. So it's everything is really positive.
What have you learned about yourself and the wider team since that defeat to New Zealand in the World Cup, and do you feel it's helped improve you as a player?
Absolutely. I think the learnings from that game is you need to take your opportunities when they come. A lot of the games, those knockout games, are one-score games. So it's about us being clinical, and defensively being rock solid in defence. Because if you do give teams any space, they will take it at this level. So definitely, it's a few gears up from club level, and we all know that it's you just need to take your opportunities when they come.